Namaste Galactic Family, and welcome back to my channel IndigoAngel. Welcome if you're new, and if you're returning, don't forget to hit the notifications bell to continue to receive my messages, and hit the like button as you come on in the room. So today I'm going to be doing a collective soul reading for the Andromeda Starseed for the month of May. And it really has been some time since I've done an Andromedan reading, but this encryption has become relative simply because Andromeda upholds the consciousness templates or the consciousness reality fields within the ninth density structures. It's also receiving a lot of that recalibration from the blue ray, and it's also receiving recalibration from the violet ray. So it is the extension from the root all the way to the crown, so to speak, in terms of that seventh dimensional biology and planetary vertical ascension column. So it would definitely very much be bringing through that emerald order, right? And it's also upholding human moral behaviors and covenants, which is starting to become something that is very relative in terms of human rights and human liberty rights. And so it's all coming from their galactic perspective. So Andromedans carry a very universal, it's not even universal, it's almost multi-super colossal universal, so to speak, containing several perspectives of many and multiple galaxy consciousness bodies. So Andromeda has this very extensive knowledge of universal laws and the diversity that exists in the universe. And they are really fundamental when it comes to support for grassroots movements. Also, just supporting any super colossal galactic differentiation and diversity within universal laws. So they understand the necessity of diversity. And this collective is working from a much higher level of intelligences to support the chains placed on planetary Templar silencing and suppression at this time. And so Andromedas are playing a huge role in the assistance needed to release the silences placed on these very, very powerful spiritual collective prayer bodies that are the strongest energetic force on the planet right now that needs to be released at this time to assist with the evolution of the planetary healing and the direction of the healing timeline that the planet potentially has the probability to shift into. Some people are already in and out of those reality fields, and we have to remember that not everybody is on the same earth, even though we're on the same earth, so to speak. So we have some people that are on new earth. We have some people that are in duality and polarity. We have some people that are living in the grimiest levels of human 3D reality fields. And then we have the underworld dwellers. I mean, we have every reality field, all 5 harmonic universes simultaneously existing here. So the importance that I feel the Andromedans want me to bring up is that it's important to understand that as a galactic, especially as an Andromedan starseed, you have the capacity to really live through all of those harmonic universes and identify where others are and alter a lot of times your own energetic body to communicate or to go into that reality field to bring somebody into a new reality field or a new understanding of universal laws. And so there is a huge part of peacekeeping that comes in through the Andromeda Starseed, since their mind is somewhat more universal. And also since they generate from an ascending galaxy, they don't typically hold polar views. They're usually in a state of unification. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the Andromedan reading. But I just want to state that there has been an infringement in terms of the Bill of Rights, in terms of this information here in the United States, at least, that the First Amendment and also the Third Amendment has been violated. And so this is where it's energetically assisting with this energy. So that's why I was guided to pull some cards from the Illuminati New World Order Unlimited Edition starter set. So I'm really excited to have got this, guys. This is my new deck, which I haven't had time to actually play the game. But I am going to pull a couple cards from this today to coincide this Andromedan reading. And I'm also reading from the dark deck here is the Night Sun Tarot. And the blue deck is the UFO Tarot. Okay, so we're just going to pull cards for the Andromeda encryption for the month of May. And I guess we'll just kind of take a look at the Illuminati cards. I haven't... It's interesting though, it does seem to follow the pattern of what is playing out collectively. So I'll just see how it plays into the reading here. Essentially we have the Magician. So there's a lot of creative power that is coming from the Andromedan Soul Collective, Soul Group, Starseed Origin. There's a lot of strong-willed ambition. There's a lot of harnessing the power of the universe in order to manifest. And so this Magician energy is really working with alchemical, I want to say all 5 alchemical forces at this time to rise up from, I want to say, the Syrian collective. I just felt this insurgence of the pentagram come up underneath that Andromedan encryption. So it's almost like it's rising up through Syrian energy. So it's being supported in coalition with this nation. There's also some connections to Pegasus. So I'm picking up on Pegasus. Pegasus would be an accelerative encryption, so and a strong accelerative encryption. So this is a real strong accelerative force that would move forward and also support. There's 3 cards with horses here, so there's the duality that's coming forward too within the mental collective of the Andromedan Starseed. You're also this is the Sun card, so there's a lot of acceleration in terms of being supported by solar deity, being supported by the law of one, unification, coming together, unity. It seems that this accelerative force within this creative galactic founder nation would be what this market manipulation would be up against here. It says this card can be used at any time. Remove the action tokens from any one corporate group if you choose, and any and all bank groups, and this does not count as an action. So I feel that this is very similar to what I was saying about that recalibration within the Blu-ray, how there has been this leak of wealth that's basically, or it's kind of like as if the wealthy 1% have been walking around with these like water balloons, right? Well, someone poked a hole in one of their water balloons, essentially. And so they're having to do a lot of extra stuff right now to try to keep that wealth. There's a lot of market manipulation. They're having to go in and change systems, and they're having to go in and change information and go into their computer systems and really manipulate things to be in their favor. They're having to work extra hard because of the energy that's coming forward from a universal perspective. So their scales are unbalanced right now. Their scales are heavier than they normally are, and that their top-down power pyramid scheme is definitely crumbling down on top of them. They definitely are feeling the pressure from the organic forces on the earth that are in coherence with nature, that are in balance with humanity, that want to see humanity thrive. They're feeling the pressure and the support from these legions, these Pegasus legions, these winged horse legions, these unicorn legions, the dragon legions. Okay, they are in support of what's best for the whole. And so the top elites, the 1%, the Illuminati, are definitely feeling the pressure from this, because it's coming forward in a very strong, powerful manner, that this dualistic approach is getting ran off the road, so to speak. It's getting outswam. It's getting basically recalibrated from its internal structures, from that Blu-ray, from the foundation, from the root, from the red portions of the biology, and from the planetary shields. All of this is coming through and rising up to a point that the Illuminati seems to have to be, reorganizing their strategy. They do fear anarchy at this time. They do fear they are having to completely reorganize their entire power structure. The card says you may completely reorganize your entire power structure. You may play this card at any time during your own turn. It requires an action from your Illuminati. So it's basically the ball's in their court. They're having to make new moves, even though as the collective body, we're the receivers of their move making. We are having to be reactive to the moves that they make. But essentially, they are having to reorganize their tactics. They're trying to prevent anarchy right now, is what they're trying to do. And they're feeling very pinched, so to speak, in terms of being pushed up against a corner, of having to give a little bit on their end as well. And so this is all rising up through the mental and the emotional body of the Andromeda collective as this pressure is being put on the top-down power structure elites. So there's a lot of perseverance, a lot of observation, a lot of prudence, a lot of unforeseen events that have played out. But Andromedans are holding strong in their observative, unified state. They're definitely very cautious. They're making intellectual moves. They're not jumping into anything hastily. They're very balanced in their feminine and masculine energy right now. They're very much unified in a trinity state. So there's a lot of strength that comes from that groundedness and that pure essence of their being. There's also this sense of procrastination, though. Procrastinating in terms of bringing together more grassroots support movements. It says this card may be played at any time and counts as an action for the group it affects. The increased power takes effect immediately. Power for one straight group is increased to 6. Link this card to your chosen straight group. Okay, so any grassroots support movements at this time are going to be amplified in strength. Essentially, right now, the Illuminati, the top down, are weakening. Their infrastructure is weakening because it isn't coherent, because it is not of, for one, organic humanism. It is very much non-human forms and identities that are controlling this. They can only give way for so long. So their internal structures, right now, if they were to have grassroots supportive movements, that this might be the imbalance that knocks them off enough to essentially gain some acceleration in terms of the forces that are in the cohesiveness that all lives matter, right? So there's this sense of moving away and also finding safer grounds, moving away from more turbulent reality fields. Spirit guides are very close to you right now. You're having a lot of assistance from other galactic nations, also from your own galactic nations. There is this strong, energetic, I don't want to say feeding, but almost like gifting, like other galaxy nations are like gifting their energy to those who are calling upon it right now. They are very, like I said, they're very aware of what's happening here on this nursery. They've been watching from the ground. So there are boots on the ground that have been essentially reporting back to galactic nations, and that they're reporting back to the mother ships, essentially. This is all going back to the genetic mother sun. And so there is fleets that are being initiated to assist the boots on the ground, to assist what may be an upheaval. I was telling you in my other reading that I was seeing serpent centaurs raise up from the ground. It says worldwide riots continue for a third week with no sign of abatement. Each player must choose one group from his power structure and discard it. These do not discount as destroyed for anyone's victory conditions. So the more that we have grass support movements, we have people that rise up in their empowerment and essentially work as boots on the ground, that there are going to be power structures that are going to basically lose their power, lose their momentum. Power is within the people right now. The power is within unification and coming together and standing for what is right, standing for your Bill of Rights, standing for the First Amendment, standing for the Templar structures and the collective unified prayer bodies. Even just standing up so we can come together in prayer and unification would be enough to pull power cards from the elite, pull power cards from the Illuminati. They know that. They know that, and they don't want our churches open at this time. Okay, so there's a reason for all of that. So yeah, guys, these Illuminati cards are the shiznits. So there's also going to be a rebuilding of the foundation. So you can see this giant mothership just like rolling on the ground here. This is like the Ace of Pentacles, and it's very much about rebuilding the foundation, rebuilding the ground, rebuilding our cities, rebuilding our communities, rebuilding it and attracting what we need to prosper while remaining grounded and down to earth, and being realistic, and learning how to trust and help and be reliable people again towards one another, and to accept this help from other people, accept trust from other people. There's this entire recalibration and integration that's going to happen now that these businesses are going to be opening back up. So a lot of people are going to still be carrying the insecurities and the trust issues and basically the fear of this pandemic. And so there's going to be a lot of reintegration and patience that's going to have to happen within our communities and within society. So all of this is being rebuilt from the ground up. But there may be an uprising. There may be an upheaval and a riot before we see this through. Okay? If we see this, it's going to be the gladiators. It's going to be the centaurs that are going through these grassroots movements, I want to say. But, you know, not just that. It's going to be even more extreme than that, most likely. But we're just hoping for the best. We're hoping for the best. Okay, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this Andromedan reading. Hopefully the covenants and the moral behaviors of humanity begins to balance out in terms of what's in the best bigger picture for all beings involved. And yeah, guys, so I love you so much, and I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you would like a Starseed Origin reading, IndigoAngel222.com, or you can find me at Patreon, patreon.com/IndigoAngel. Namaste.